So this guy's equipment just stops working. Like, completely. No signal, no service, zilch. And what does he do? He blames a doctor and starts plotting revenge. Let me explain. The guy's name is Stanwood. He's 54 years old, a barber living in California. And for a while now, he's been dealing with this super annoying issue. He constantly has to pee. Like, all the time. Dude's always running to the bathroom, even waking up several times a night. It's ruining his life. And yeah, it only gets weirder from here.
So in 1992, he starts going to doctors to figure out what's actually going on. After seeing a few of them, he ends up at a Veterans Affairs hospital.
And one of the doctors he meets there?
Yeah, it's a guy named Ronald. Ronald is around 32 at the time, and he's still in training.
He's a resident, not even a full doctor yet. But hey, close enough, right? So Ronald examines Stanwood and does what doctors do.
After checking things out, he tells Stanwood that he has a narrow urethra and suggests surgery to fix it.
Stanwood's like, surgery? That sounds risky. Are you sure about this? And Ronald tells him yes, that it's the best option. Eventually, he agrees to go through with it. So Stanwood has the surgery and everything goes just fine. He doesn't die, no complications. Everything went according to plan. But after the surgery, when it's time for him to be discharged, Stanwood starts acting up again. He refuses to leave. He's yelling, threatening to rip out his own catheter if they try to send him home. Which, let's be real, would hurt him way more than it would hurt anyone else. The doctors are like, okay, this guy clearly has some mental health stuff going on, so they let him stay a few extra days. Eventually, they convince him to go home with the catheter still in place.
But just a few days later, he storms back into the hospital, furious. He demands that the catheter be removed immediately.
The staff tells him it needs to stay in for 2 weeks so he can heal properly. He doesn't care.
He insists they take it out right then and there, and for whatever reason, they do it, even though it risks messing up the whole recovery process. That should have been the end of it. That should have been the last time they ever saw Stanwood. But it wasn't. Over the next several years, things don't get any better for Stanwood. In fact, they get worse.
He starts having ongoing issues like urine leakage, super low sex drive, and most importantly to him, he can't get it up anymore. In medical terms, erectile dysfunction.
And yeah, for a guy named Stanwood, this is pretty ironic and devastating. But for real, he's miserable. He's convinced the surgery ruined his life. No sex life means no love life. He had a long-term girlfriend, and they were even talking about getting married. But according to him, when she found out things weren't working down there, she bailed.
All of this builds into pure rage. Instead of accepting these rare side effects or admitting, he made things worse by removing the catheter too early.
He pins everything on the doctors. Those damn surgeons ruined me. He starts bouncing between physicians, desperately looking for someone to fix him. At the same time, he's writing threatening letters to his original doctor, Roland. Stuff like, I wish you were dead. Eventually, one new doctor tells him exactly what he wants to hear.
You were misdiagnosed. You never needed that surgery. Now, whether that's true or not, who knows? It's one doctor's opinion, years after the fact. But to Stanwood,
it's confirmation. I knew it. They messed me up. And that's where things take a much darker turn. Stanwood becomes obsessed with revenge. In his mind, those doctors ruined everything. His health, his relationship, his future. And he's not going to let that slide. By 2010, 18 years after the surgery, he starts seriously planning his revenge. He digs through his old medical records and finds one name, Ronald. Ronald was the young resident who first examined him back in '92. He didn't perform the surgery, but his name was on the paperwork. And to Stanwood, that's enough. Ronald becomes the target. Stanwood spends the next 2 years planning.
By 2012, he's 75 years old and completely consumed by the idea of getting revenge. He buys a pew-pew. A month later, he walks into the urology clinic where Ronald now works.
He uses a fake name, fake documents, and requests an appointment with Ronald specifically. Everything goes smoothly. The appointment is booked.
Meanwhile, Ronald's life is the opposite. He's 53 now, married with kids, a successful doctor, and founder of a pharma company for that type of dysfunction.
Which he's considering selling for millions. He's thriving, completely unaware of the storm heading his way. And now we're in early 2013, the day of the appointment.
Stanwood loads his Glock, drives 65 miles to the clinic, and checks in under his fake identity. He sits in the waiting room, stewing in over 2 decades of frustration and anger. Eventually, a nurse calls him back. He's taken to a room and told the doctor will be in shortly. And then he waits. There's a knock. The door opens.
Ronald walks in, smiling, probably expecting a routine visit. But Stanwood pulls the gun. Blam, blam, blam. He shoots him 10 times. 10. Ronald is killed almost instantly.
The staff outside rush into the room, shocked and horrified, and find Stanwood still standing there with the gun. And all he says is, I'm insane. Call the police.
That's it. The police show up and arrest him on the spot. Here's his mugshot. He goes to trial. He's found guilty. Sentenced to life in prison. Game over.